Hello, Slicey Dicers. This is Brian with another long-term update for you. I have 10 knives here that I've had for more than 3 months. I'm really surprised that I have more than 3 months. I like to do these long-term updates every now and then. I used to do individual long-term videos. They were kind of long and boring, so it's easier just to do these all in one shot. It's going to be a fairly lengthy video, but you can get them all done in one shot and know how I'm getting along with some of these. I will talk a bit about how much I've carried them, how they're holding up, all that kind of stuff. So let's get going. We're going to start out with one that did not fit in the camera. I know I said 10 and there are only 9 here, but that's because one, I just couldn't make it fit in the shot. I want to give you guys stuff to look at while I'm yakking. And that would be the Cold Steel 4MAX Scout. This is a big old sucker, and they are back on sale again. I had one person mention in the comments they were out of stock, and then or that they were discontinued, and then I had someone else in my Instagram comments really angrily insisting that they were discontinued. Well, they're back in stock again in a few places. They just sold out, guys. They're very popular. They're only 110 bucks. AUS 10A steel. It's a big old monster. And you know what? This one has been getting carried a whole lot more than I thought it would. Part of it is because I'm trapped in my house. This is April 2020, as it says up above. But also, it's not as hard to carry as you'd think, other than the weight. 10.2 ounces is undeniable force in your pocket. Belt wearers need only apply, I think. But I do really like it. It is a very useful blade. It's much slicier than you think it would be. It is just a big old beast, but you know what? It works good. The ergos are great. It is nigh on indestructible. The AUS 10A has held up really, really well. And when I have gone outdoors to do silly stuff, it's held up really good. Had to hack down a small sapling with it. And well, more than I guess a sapling, about an inch thick. Made quick work of it. Could have gone in and gotten my little axe, but I had this in my pocket and I said, "I'll screw it," and hacked at it, and it worked great. It's just a really good knife. I do like the 4MAX a whole lot. It's especially in the Scout version for only $110. If you want a big silly cold steel, which I think everyone should have, this is your Huckleberry. I really love the 4MAX Scout. It's quickly becoming, honestly, one of my favorite knives that I own. Definitely one of my favorite cold steels. All right, next up, these are in no particular order. I guess I'll just keep grabbing them as I see them. The Spyderco Ikuchi, about 140 bucks. I was late on the train on this one, and I think I got this one in a trade, if I remember correctly, and I love it. It's become one of my favorite little gentleman's knives. It's still just as fidgety as any compression lock could be. I really like that kind of wheel flipper. It's just great. Very thin, slicey blade. I will say, as a gentleman's knife, it does look a bit aggressive, I think is the nice way to put it. But other than that, I just really do enjoy it. And it's such a discreet carry. I don't worry too much about it. Even when I have a knife in my pocket in gentlemanly sort of situations, I don't take it out too terribly often. So that doesn't really bother me much about the way it looks. S30V steel, Tai-Chung Taiwan. I realized, I think now, I was looking today, I was rearranging cases. I think I have more Tai-Chung Spydercos than I do American ones, which is kind of surprising. It was not intentional, but that's just kind of the way it's been working out. I love this thing. The Ikuchi is just great. It's held up really well. This thing definitely has some significant miles on it, not necessarily doing heavy-duty cutting tasks, but flipping it and playing with it. Absolutely. It's got a lot of miles on it, and it's holding up really, really well. I have no complaints. Still centered well and all that stuff that you'd expect. Still great. Love the Ikuchi. Next would be the Civivi Shredder. The Civivi Shredder. I almost thought it was something else for a second. Still love it. It's still great. It's still one of my favorite time to take out the recycling knives. I grab this a lot when it's time, just to cut up all those boxes that I'm getting delivered. It's awesome. It's it slices so well. It's a bit big, but I don't mind that as much anymore as I used to. It's very comfortable in the hand, especially you can choke up. I don't usually choke up on it that much. I'm surprised. I normally just use it like this, because like I said, I'm usually just hacking cardboard. And it works fantastically well. And it's very fun to fidget with as well. Multiple opening methods, which I like. Nice deep carry clip, which I don't care as much on this one because it's so big. I'm really, the times that I carry it, I'm normally not trying to hide the fact that I have a knife or anything like that. But yeah, this one's sticking around. All three of the first ones you saw are sticking around. I'm going to mention a couple that might not be sticking around, but yeah, this is pretty great. I do love the shredder. I still think it's the best thing Civivi makes. It's still my favorite Civivi. Well, this in the backlash maybe, This is like 1 and 1A, I guess I would call it. Next up, the Steel Wheel Screamer D2. Oh, this is about $61, by the way. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep trying to remember to mention the prices. The Screamer is about $64. D2 steel liner lock. It's just a pretty thing. I love the way this thumb hole is cut out. It's on bearings. It's very smooth. Liner lock. The lockup is great. You know, it's just not the smallest thing in the pocket to carry. It is pretty tall, but it's held up really well. This hasn't gotten a ton of carry lately. I've had this one for significantly more than 3 months, and I do really enjoy it, but this is one that may go away in the next knife sale. I don't know, just because I don't find myself grabbing it very often, but we'll see. I'm not really sure. I can't remember if this came out in 2020 or 2019. It would be, if it came out in 2020, it's more likely I'm going to keep it, because it probably might make my top 10 of 2020 thing, just because it's so pretty and it works well. It is a very good slicer. It did give me a nasty cut, but that was not its fault. That was my fault. So not going to blame the knife for that. That was me being a stupid head. I'm unsure about this one, if I'm going to keep it or not. I still will recommend it all day long, twice on Sunday, but not sure if it's for me to keep or not. Next up would be, this is the Kershaw Bare Knuckle. I don't normally put exclusives in here, but apparently Smoky Mountain Knife Works got an infinite supply of these, because they even have them on sale. They've had them on sale for quite a while, and as of the date I'm recording this, in May, I said it was April earlier, didn't I? I don't know the month. In May of 2020, they are still available. So, and they're on sale. So I don't know. They're $75 right now. They're normally $99. 20 CV black. I love the bare knuckle. I had the original, sold it and upgraded to this one. This one isn't breaking in quite as well as my OG did. Now, my OG, I will say, I had for quite some time. And it got really worn, and it was as smooth as any ZT. This has not quite reached that level yet. It probably still will, but it doesn't get as much pocket time as the old one did, just because I've had other stuff around. But the D10's broken in really well. The D10's pretty much perfect on it. Yes, you do have to not be pushing on that lock bar, but it's not as bad as a lot of people say. It has grown a slight bit off center. I have not bothered to take it apart yet. I'm sure I can probably fix that, because it is not dramatic. It's not touching anything or anything like that. I'm sure I can fix that, but it did grow off center a bit over time. I'm sure that's easily repairable, but it is breaking in pretty well. Not as good as the old one, but I do still like it. And, you know, for $75 and 20 CV and made in America, how can you go wrong? Pretty impossible to go wrong with bare knuckle, especially in this version. Next up would be the Sharp by Design Void. This is a Brian No design. Pretty expensive knife. I think this one was $375 with the carbon fiber inlay. Jumped right on it when they got it. I never had a Brian No before. I wanted to have one. I do really love this knife. In a lot of ways, it's probably my favorite knife that I own. The action and everything is just ridiculously good. It's just an insanely amazing knife. That said, I'm thinking about getting rid of it. I don't know. It's $375. I run a channel. I don't consider myself a collector. I don't carry a ton, and I don't have any more videos that I can see doing with it. It's actually quite the opposite. A lot of times I show this, people complain because I'm talking about a knife that they can't get. Just like I said with this, I don't normally show knives in videos that you can't get anymore very often. I'll do like an unboxing or something and I'll move on. And I'm kind of having this weird crisis where I think I have a bit too much for myself, and I need to thin out the collection a little bit and focus more on stuff that's for the channel. I'll have a few still just for me, but this one is absolutely 100% just for me in the collection. It's $375, and that's what I paid for it. I could probably get every single dime of it back off on the secondary, and it just keeps crossing my mind. I like Brian No a whole lot. I love his designs. It won't be the last one that I own, but I think if I get another one, it would probably be the same thing. I'd probably have it for a while and get rid of it. It's made by Riot, beautifully made knife. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. I carry it sometimes. It hasn't cut a whole lot, but I don't know. It's just a lot of money to be sitting there not being used. I have a lot of really expensive knives, and they just get used more than this. I don't know why. It's because it's too pretty. I can't replace it. It's probably the I can't replace it thing. I think I always know that. It's like they're one and done with Sharp by Design. One run, done, gone, never getting it again. And in the back of my mind always bothers me when I think about actually carrying it and really hardcore using it, is that I'm not going to be able to get another one. So maybe I won't have one. That probably makes no sense. whatsoever. Next up, even more expensive knife. This is one that is definitely not going away. This is my Hinderer Jurassic. You guys have seen it in a few different flavors. It was green originally, and then I dyed the scale, and then I got 3 different custom scales from Sharp by Design. Previously, when you saw it, it probably had a micarta scale on it, which was beautiful. I have a bronze clip and a bronze filler tab for it. I just wanted to change its clothes the other day and see. I had never used this carbon one. I got it at the same time. Finally decided to use this marble carbon one, and I do like it a lot. It may go back to the micarta, or I may get a Stonewash black DLC pocket clip and filler tab. Kind of leaning towards doing that. What do you guys think? The guys, for all of you who've seen the previous version with the micarta scale and the bronze, do you like camera 1 with the micarta or camera 2 with the carbon? I'm unsure myself. I think with the blackout, it would look pretty cool. Maybe I can't find they have made Hinderer Jurassic hardware kits for it. They're few and far between, and I definitely cannot find a black one right now. But yeah, I'm kind of thinking about blacking out those 2 pieces. Maybe the lock bar, or the over travel stop as well. But I don't know. But I do love the knife. It's probably my favorite Hinderer, honestly. This is probably my favorite Hinderer model at the moment. Got off on the colors without talking about the knife. It's slicer grind. That's my favorite. I like the size of it. I love the ergos on it so much. This is so comfortable in my hand. It's definitely the most comfortable Hinderer that I have. Way more comfortable than any XM18 I've ever handled. Not that those are bad, but this is just awesome. It is probably my favorite Hinderer, I do have to say. So just unsure of the color scheme it's going to keep, but I can move them around all the time. I can take a Hinderer apart and put it back together in my sleep pretty much at this point. So that's not really much of a worry at all. Next up, we have 144.50. This is the Benchmade Bug Out CF Elite. You guys see this all the time in the size comparisons. I do have 3 bug outs now, a mini bug out, this one, and then an original bug out with some RC Bladeworks scales on it. I don't carry this as much as I used to because I have the one with the RC Bladeworks scales, and I do really like that a lot. But the CF Elite is definitely stiffer than the original, Grivery handles were. But in the DLC's holding up well. I did use this quite a bit when I first got it, but it just doesn't get carried a whole lot just because I have the other one with the custom scales. But I do like it a whole lot. It ain't going anywhere because it's a size comparison knife, and it is still really good. And it is still a little lighter and thinner, than the one with the RC Bladeworks scales on it. I'm just waiting for some more pieces to finish off that build, and then I'll have a video about it. But it's these times it's pretty hard to get. I'm just trying to get standoffs and stuff, and it's a bit of a pain to get them. So you have to wait a minute on that. But yeah, I am really still liking the CF Elite. I just like my one with the custom scales a little bit more. So this is it's held up fine, still centered well, all that stuff. No broken Omega springs or anything like that. And then we will end on a couple of Ferrum forges. I bought these almost within a week of each other. Now we'll start off with this one, the Exec. This one actually low-key gets quite a bit of time in the pocket, especially back before all this happened when I was out and about more. Probably my second favorite gentleman's knife. It's a bit big for a gentleman's knife, but as Exec would indicate, it does have a very gentlemanly sort of look. I love the bronze color. It comes in other colors. These, I'm going to say at the time of recording this, were $275. They're $200. They're having a social distancing sale on Ferrum Forge's website at ferrumforge.com, I think it is. They have been doing that for quite some time. So you can still get them. Jump over there if you want one of these. $200. I mean, I got friend prices on it, and I paid more than that. So go get you one. That is a ridiculous good deal. Made by We, 20 CV steel. Very slicey blade. The more I use this, the more I appreciate how slicey it is. It's held up extremely well. The action is amazing. I did take it apart as soon as I got it and lubed it up, but still nice and centered, and just that action is just awesome. I really, really, really like this thing. I know my next knife sale, this is not going to be on it, but one knife is definitely on it because I own this. So I chose this instead. I had no real need to have them both. Sat down and really evaluated which one of the two I was going to keep, and it was a no-brainer to keep this one. I really like this. And for 200 bucks, just freaking stop watching this video and go get it. Except for that the next one is also a really good deal. There's another Ferrum forge. This is the mini Archbishop. This is the carbon fiber one. They don't have any of those listed on the site right now. This was 95 bucks when I got it. But if you want to get one with the G10 scales on it, they're $60 right now. 60 bucks. 9CR18 MOV steel, which I really like a whole lot. And just a great fifth pocket / gentlemanly kind of knife. I really, really do love the mini Arch. It's just a great knife. This also not going anywhere. I really, really enjoy this knife. I like the forward finger choil. You get all four fingers very comfortably on if you're using that choil, and that choil is big enough for almost anybody's meat hands. You don't have a whole lot of blades sticking out, but still plenty enough to be useful for a kind of light duty EDC, and that's really what it is. I love this thing. Again, made by We. Again, great action. It's just a great little knife. So that is it. That is my long-term wrap-up for May of 2020, not April. Don't put in the comments that I said April. I know I did. I caught myself. I'm not reshooting the whole video for it. It's going to say May up top. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. I've been Brian. Have a good one. It's only the 2nd of May. Give me a break.